How's it? You know when you scroll through your Instagram feed and it's just the same image, essentially, over and over again? And this is what I want to get into today, is how to break free of this sameness and craft a style in your photographs that is uniquely yours. To help us on this journey to breaking free of the stranglehold of social media, right, we're going to use the 4-sight process. Now, the 4-sight process is about focusing, thinking about why we want to take photographs in the first place. It's about observing the wider world around us and drawing in inspiration from a diverse range of places, about unplugging from this constant bombardment of social media that is influencing us, whether we like it or not, and then being able to refine our photography. There is a photographer whose work I absolutely adore. He's a guy named Stephen Shaw. When I first saw it, it was like a breath of fresh air. Because it was, all of a sudden, there's these guys taking pictures of ordinary things. And I've been brought up in a diet of practical photography, and you must photograph this, and you must photograph various things. No doubt you've encountered similar. And yet, when I saw his work, it elicited a reaction to me. And I want you to listen to a little anecdote from Stephen Shaw and see if you can pick up what is so important about style in photography.
I was photographing at 57th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue. A policeman came up to me and said, "You're a photographer." And I'm staring at an 8x10. I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I'm a photographer too." I said, "I use a 4x5. So we started talking, and we were talking for a while, and he asked my name, and I told him. He said, "I have one of your books, and I show it to my family, and they think your pictures are boring, and I tell them they don't understand." And so that's sums up the reaction to my work for years. Is some people think it's boring, and other people say, "Oh, you don't understand."
Did you get that there? The policeman loves the photographs, but he says his wife, she doesn't like them. There was at least a reaction, an emotional reaction to the work, rather than just scrolling past it and just dismissing it. That's what we want to break free from. To use the 4-sight system to find fresh inspiration, to be like Stephen Shaw. When he was driving around America in the 1970s, rather than doing what was expected, the fine art photography, he was photographing the mundane things, the landscapes, the people that he met, parking lots, the food. Long before food was a thing on Instagram, Stephen Shaw was the prototype food photographer. and even the toilets and the beds and the televisions that he used. The first step in the 4-sight process is focus. What is the reason that you are taking photographs? If it is just for the sheer enjoyment of doing so, then make that your purpose. If it is to speak your unique vision about the world, then think about that. Have a goal in mind. That goal can change, it can move around, but think about what it is that you want to take photographs. What is your purpose? It doesn't have to be a lofty ideal. It doesn't have to be a grandiose, the world's best and most meaningful photo story ever. It just needs to be something that motivates you, that you feel passionate about. That way, you're not going to fall into this trap of taking photographs for somebody else's reasons. We can be so inundated with this on a daily basis that people are telling us, you must do it this way because of that, and this is what you are supposed to do. If you don't have work in a gallery, then it's no good. You must be making photo books. Find your own purpose. That will give you clarity to your photography.
One thing I wanted to do was take pictures that felt like they were not burdened with visual conventions. I wanted to take pictures that felt like seeing.
Observe the world around you. It is one thing to sit on social media and find images to try and inspire you. You know, I've found lots of things, no doubt you have. Well, you kind of go occasionally go, wow, I really like that. But we also get overly influenced, whether we like it or not, that these things, you know, we sort of go, well, they're a trend. And we jump on these trends. And a good way to know if you're actually getting proper inspiration or just jumping on a trend is to look at the work, you know, at a remove after a little while and say, did I like this? Do I still like that photograph, or does it kind of make me feel, it wasn't quite me? If that's the case, then you've been seduced almost by a trend. So to kind of get away from all this influence, think about going to places that are beyond photography. Television, art, music videos, movies, book illustrations. All these places are a rich vein of inspiration that you can bring from outside of the photographic world and reinvigorate that bank of images in your head that you have to draw from. Stephen Shaw, he's bringing in, I feel, influences from the art world, of what's going on in the wider world at the time, and, you know, reinventing his photography. So make a note. I used to have a little book that I would jot down ideas for photographs in, and, you know, wherever I saw them, carry one around with you. I should start doing that as well, because it was a fantastic way, because you can sometimes forget them, especially when we're bombarded with images every single day. But how do we stop being bombarded by all these photographs and this surreptitious influence?
In 1980, my wife and I moved to Montana. And when I started living there and thinking about what to photograph, I realized that if I photographed the land, I would be seeing it through the eyes of a New Yorker and taking pictures that essentially said, wow, isn't this beautiful? And that those pictures would have missed something that I would be doing if I were photographing in a city or a small town. And that is, they wouldn't be expressing a perception of the place.
Unplug yourself. Take a break from social media. I don't have Instagram on my phone anymore. I very rarely go on it online. I have divorced myself from a lot of those influences. And that has helped me clear out a lot of the gunkiness that was building up, because I'm not being constantly distracted by work that isn't necessarily things that I would feel comfortable photographing. And you may sit there and go, wow, do you know, Alex, but it's just work that I don't want to photograph. But if you sit there and you're constantly looking at these things, looking for inspiration, that thought does seep into your mind that everybody else is doing this, so maybe I should too. We're human beings. This is in our nature. This is why social media is so popular, because it's like an echo chamber. So we need to break free of that, to get rid of this constant stream of images, giving our minds just a moment to go, oh, do you know what? To go to an art gallery and actually look at art on the wall. To spend time with a photograph or a painting or something that moves you, and to go, oh, I love what this person has done there. That really speaks to me. Rather than this constant, magpieing of bringing up images. That break gives us time for the new ideas to grow. But there is something important that we need to also continue to do as those ideas are growing. Refining your work. Photography is a journey. It's an ongoing process. And so long as we keep evolving, then we're always going to keep, having fun with photography. I'd stopped evolving when I was trying to copy all of those fancy photographers. Stephen Shaw has stayed true to his vision, but his work has evolved over time. But you still recognize it as a Stephen Shaw image. That's because he has found an authentic voice within him. That's so important, is that so long as the work that you are creating is taking inspiration from focus, from being observing the world, of taking time to unplug yourself from these influences, then you're going to allow that inner voice to grow. And over time, it will refine itself. It will become more you.
In the process of becoming aware of all the structural elements of a picture, to make all my decisions conscious, I started filling the pictures with attention. And so although this seems as casual and as natural as an American Surfaces picture, the difference is, for me, there's a resonance of conscious attention that fills the picture.
Stephen Shaw's work over the years has evolved, it has changed. Obviously, the look and the feel of it has morphed as the world has changed around us. But one thing that when you look at his images, that they remain true to him. That you look at the photographs and you go, that feels like a Stephen Shaw image. And you could say this about most photographers who are true to their authentic selves. That you look at their image and immediately you recognize, you can go, that feels like a Anton Corbijn picture. That feels like a David Bailey picture. Using the 4 process of that focus, observing, of unplugging, of refining your work is going to help get you closer to your own authentic vision, which you have already inside you, but you just don't know it yet. And to find out how to tap into it, how to really get it out, check out this video over here. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you again soon.